and may have some stumbling blocks. But again, it is up to you guys. The money is close. I know that they're working on bringing in more communities, which would lower the price. You know, Kurtz has a beautiful facility over there in Cal Park. So I personally, if you're looking to save money, that's your decision. I have a good working relationship with them. And you know how I feel about the ambulance. I think there's no brainer to keep them as my ambulance. I get as many ambulances as I want for a lot cheaper. So I'm just saying, they're a homegrown company and not putting you guys down. It's you guys are great. I just, you know, honestly, I think we all done something. That's all.
Thank you, Chief.
I don't know how the rest of the board is feeling, but just kind of like what Chief Hughes was saying, and from our last meeting with the presentation from Buzz and Kirk, we had come to find out that a lot of the things that you were doing with Kirk, or what was happening with Kirk, was not happening with Buzz. No one had talked to Buzz. Buzz is willing to do different prices. They're willing to work with us, to stay with us. It's just that no one ever approached them with this. So as far as I'm concerned, if they're willing to work with us, I'm willing to work with them. I have no problem with them. So that's that.
Any further comment? Okay, it'll be on the next agenda for a formal vote, January 5th, correct?
If that's what the board so pleases, yes.
Okay. All right, next thing on the agenda.
Next thing on the agenda that is C was setting the price to sell the Dorchester. I was asked by Trustee Smith moments before the meeting to pull this item from the agenda. I told her at this point somebody at the board level had to table it or pull it, that I can't do that, it's already posted. So,
There have been other things that were posted to the agenda and we pulled them. There have been things posted
and they've been pulled at the meeting. I have no reason to pull it. You wanted to pull it, so we got to make a motion.
I don't understand why it was,
I was directed by other members of the board to put it on.
you told, this is my committee, and it's really disheartening and a disservice because no one came and talked to me about this while we're trying to do a service for our seniors in this community and trying to save things and trying to bring our community back. This is what we get in return. This is what our seniors get. And we just discussed a new contract, and now this is up. That makes no sense.
I believe one of the reasons, and I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds, I'm not speaking on behalf of the board members that recommended this be put on the agenda, but it breaks down to every day that the village hall is open, and including Sundays, costs the village and the taxpayers of this community $2,000 a day to keep those doors open.
It was more than that. So we have brought the cost down, and
Oh, man,
it really,
that comes out to about
continues,
$80,000.
it continues to be a big disservice because out of all the things we can do, we can't seem to come together so that we can save our community. But we can do everything that we need to do to get some money, and God only knows what will happen.
I'm only here to give facts and information, and right now the Dorchester is losing about $80,000 a month.
I have a question. When we set, you want to go to executive session to set a price, or you want us to
You
tell
can
the
do
whole
it in
public
exec,
the
or you
price
can do it
before we-
publicly, either way. It's up to the board.
No, you need to discuss this
I would like to set a price. in
because this
executive
wasn't your
session.
committee. It wasn't yours. I'm not trying to be, I'm not gonna go off or anything like that, but you and Trustee Henry should have discussed this with me.
You know, I would suggest, trustee Smith, that if you don't want this on the agenda, I would suggest you table it.
We table. I'm motioning for it to be tabled.
Okay, at that
So that
point,
we can
there's no
discuss.
further discussion. And then,
Oh, okay, second,
then, you made a motion to table. Now we need a second.
And nobody wants to table it. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, there's no second, and this is not a meeting where we can actually vote on it, but we can talk about it. So, the motion fails, with no second. Now it's open for discussion.
I would like to honestly move this to executive session. I'm not but I mean, I just, to set a price out in public of what we will sell.
Well, it's not about setting the price right now.
Oh, I'm just reading what it says, set price to sell to Dorchester.
Yeah.
I mean, so what, I just got a little confused with reading it.
There was a motion to table it, failed with no second. And, you know, to be quite frank with you, whether you do it back there or do it out here, the public's gonna find out about it anyway, so.
Yeah, but if we do it in the back, there are things that you need to say, and sometimes people, you know, might get a little heated, and that's something that they don't need to see.
Okay.
They don't need to be part of it. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest. It's gonna come to the public, but before it comes to the public, it needs to be worked out. You don't need to see no more arguing and all of that bickering back and forth.
Okay.
Is this something that can go into executive session?
Okay,
I
right.
said a
Now,
price
now,
to session.
you know,
I want to help you out.
can we get a, so what we will do is get a motion to go to executive session to discuss this. If someone wanted to,
I'd just like to ask the president, is this something we can discuss in the executive session?
Yes, we can, and we have in the past.
Okay.
Amen.
yes.
Would it be possible that we could take it out and report it and get from some residents on this here?
Well, I mean, you could, but, you know, why don't you just table it and have a meeting with, and discuss it among yourselves?
I
You
like
know,
this.
a committee meeting, that way you don't subject everybody to going back there and boxing and whatever you're gonna do and stay for two hours.
But I don't know that that's
And not.
Yeah.
That's why I was
You know
going,
what?
Let me finish.
I agree with that.
And subject the residents to sit here until you come back from the executive session. So if we table it, you can't vote tonight on it anyway. She holds a committee meeting, everybody comes to committee meeting, put their input on it, put it on the agenda for January 5th, and vote on it.
Does anybody realize how long we've been working on this?
I think everybody
I
realizes
mean,
that.
by now, we could have been in a better shape than we're in now.
Kind of goes back to what I said in the first sentence, that have we all been coming together and bringing our heads together? We couldn't
Before we
find
go
a way
any
to
further,
say
can
that.
we just get a motion to do whatever you want to do? But,
I would like to move this to executive session, but I would want to do the executive session after citizens address. I don't want us to go back there, and I don't want the residents to be sitting out here until we get done with executive session. So I'll make the motion to move it to executive session about executive session is after citizens address. The citizens will get a chance to speak.
You know, but with that being said, there's nothing to hide.
second, okay, why don't we just vote on that? The motion is to move this item to executive session after citizens address. And there was a second by trustee Henry. So let's take a roll.
Trustee Bendel?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
No.
Trustee Hunt?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Okay, motion carries 5
Can't do it.
ayes. And we'll go into executive session after the citizens address. Next thing on the agenda is citizens address. I'd like to caution you to just 3 minutes to approach the podium and address this board. No one wants, okay.
3 minutes, please. Thank you, Mrs. Creighton.
Started from the time she got out of her chair.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees. You say 3 minutes, right? That was the call?
Yes, ma'am. 40 seconds already.
Not already. But I'd like to wish the mayor, trustees, and administrators a Merry Christmas from the Creighton household, as well as I'd like to thank the fire department and the police department for assisting with our food basket for our Charter Youth Commission. You know that Chief, they're coming in. Chief Franklin putting you, Chief Hughes on call. No worries. But putting all kidding aside, I'd really like to thank everyone for your support, your time, your energy, and ask that you all have a safe and quiet New Year, Christmas as well, Christmas first and then New Year's. And I thank the Mayor for acknowledging the crystal ballroom to be put on the agenda for Mr. Sims.
Thank you, Ms. Brady. Before we ask for a motion to move to executive session, I'd like to make mention of the fact, please be aware of your surroundings. This is a Christmas season. There's some people out here that are preying on other people and make them victims. So, and one thing I'd like to, we're still in session, One thing I'd like to bring to your attention is that we have experienced an increase in armed robberies over the last 3 weeks. And it seems like these offenders are targeting landscapers and rehabbers. So I want you to, we have a number of vacant houses, and that's being reduced, but we have vacant houses that have been purchased, and there's rehabbers in there rehabbing those properties to put them back on tax rolls, and the majority of them have been purchased already. But if you see some rehabbers that are working in your area, kind of keep an eye out for them, because we have some individuals that have been targeting those rehabbers. Our detectives are putting in a lot of time trying to, and they have developed a pattern and have some people of interest. So there's something we have to take control of and arrest those offenders. But I'd like for the public to be aware of that and to keep your eye open and call the police if you see something suspicious, and let the police determine whether or not it's the situation. So don't hesitate to call the police. Ms. Parker, how you doing tonight?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, trustees, and the residents of Dolton, and yes. Just a coincidence, I was going to mention something about the housing or whatever, and you brought it up. The concern was that I had, it seems as though that houses are being rehabbed and cleaned up and new homes built and what have you. I don't know how many homes, how many new homeowners we have or potential homeowners that we have, but maybe to help out or whatever, I was going to suggest that we do a homeowners workshop. Maybe talk to the potential homeowners or new persons that may be interested in purchasing a home or whatever, because so many people want to purchase a home, but they have no idea of the responsibility of home ownership. So that's one of the things that maybe the village could look at, is putting together a homeowners workshop. The second thing that I have an interest in is since we now have an ideal spot in resident in Dolton for possibly do businesses or whatever, one of the things that I would like to see is a Mariano's or both Golden Corral. So either or both. I can see creating jobs, creating revenue, and also possibly having people come into Dolton instead of going out of Dolton to Orland, to Calumet City, et cetera, spending their money.
Thank you.
As you know, as you know, or maybe you don't know, Dusty's has been recently demolished on Sylvia Boulevard. At one time, it was a Red Lobster in the Dusty's restaurant. I have been actively pursuing entities that come in to Dolton and actually build and construct, whether it be a strip mall or restaurants. The most people I've met with already have been restaurateurs. I've got a meeting this week with the president of the Illinois Restaurant Association. He's putting together a list of potential occupants for that location. So, so at any rate, after I gather all the data, then we will, try to get the best occupants for that.
My vote is for Portillo.
Well, we can, you can say
Perfect spot.
whether you want Mariano, or whether you want the other company, Golden Corral, as you suggested. Those companies come in, they do a survey in regards of population, traffic counts, proximity to other food locations and other businesses that do offer the same services that they do. So, but it's a no one wants to make a mistake. I try that space and it's not successful for them. So they could take in consideration everything that is going to play a part in them being successful in that location. I've had ground round here from Boston. Met with them on 2 occasions. They flew down, CEO from ground round. They didn't say no, but they didn't say yes. So, but the property's been shown about 7 times to interested parties. So hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed, we'll have an occupant by next year, and they will be on the tax rolls, and we will have another successful business here in town. Okay.
Hello, everyone. We are Thursday residents of Dolton. Not all of us are full-time residents, but we are every Thursday resident of Dolton. And if you're a line dancer or visit, could you please stand? It was more of us here, but we would just like to take the time to thank all of you guys for considering naming the ballroom after Sean. And again, we just want to say thank you. And just thank you, period.
Appreciate it.
Okay, if there's no further people that want to address this board, I'd like to get a motion to go into executive session. Okay, I'm sorry. We need a motion to recess.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to recess to go into executive session. Roll call.
Trustee Bendel?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Hunt?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
President Hemmings?
Aye.
Okay, 6 ayes. Motion carries. Did you want to address the board, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, we will go into executive session at 8:17. If you want to stay, you can. If you don't, you may leave. There won't be anything else discussed.
Mayor, we forgot to let you know that Dalton Park is getting a toy drive this Saturday.
Okay, right. Yeah. Dalton Park District is having a toy drive for the children and residents of the village of Dalton this Saturday, December 20th at 11 o'clock, 11 to 2. Yes.
Do you have to
Be arrested.
enroll ahead of time, or can the people just show up? Because the last time we announced that they were giving away the coats and the turkeys and all that. So we announced that the residents of Dalton can come and get coats and turkeys and all that.
I would suggest you contact the park district because they're really the
Yeah, you want the number?
people that's handling it.
Yes. That way, if we announce it, they know not to just show up.
Right. No, but I'm saying if you want to get the details, complete details.
Oh, Dalton Park is.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You have a phone number?
I can.
Oh,
Unity apply.
Okay. I don't think we need our department heads anymore. So you can be excused. We're gonna go back to executive session. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Our next board meeting is January 5th. Same time, same location.
Oh, yeah, plenty of robbery to deal with.
Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. I'm good, how are you? Good to see you, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How are you? You been okay? Ah,
Hey, Mr. Franklin, how are you? This is great. Chief Franklin has Chief Franklin.